Day Trading Futures with JD, and I'm JD. So this morning we are on gold, and actually this contract is the micro gold. If you've traded gold recently, you've noticed there has been a considerably amount, increased amount of volume. When we go to here to look at the volume over the past few days, back in December and even the first parts of January, you would get on a 1 minute candle, which is what I normally trade on. You'd get like a 1 minute candle only being maybe 1 or 2 points. And now we're getting candles, 1 minute candles that are anywhere from 5 to 10 and even larger than that. Like this candle right here is 934 down to a 14 point candle. If this was a full contract, this would have been, $1,400, $1,500 candle. So when I started seeing the increased volume, I went to the micro gold, and I'm only trading 2 contracts. And I'm setting my stops and my profit at 20 points. And so far, it's been good. I haven't had any problem with the price hitting my target. It seems that that's working for me. As you see, let's see, it doesn't have today's open interest. Well, let's see. Yeah, this was. I don't think that's going to be the market open. Anyway, so we've got a lot of interest in gold. I heard someone on YouTube say that even there's other countries that are investing in gold right now. They're getting out of our bonds and using and trading gold. So there's going to be increased volume. So the way you deal with that is go over to micros and adjust your contract size accordingly. And where I was before doing bracket orders with 4 points, take profit at 4 points and stop loss at 4 points, I was getting stopped out just in a matter of a fraction of a second because the movement was just so volatile. So that's what I recommend. Do 2 or 3 contracts, micro gold, and we'll go from there. All right, so let's look at today's economic calendar. Even though gold's not so sensitive towards that, I think it's best that you need to look at it anyway, just so you know what's going on. And of course, I'll have a refresh. Okay, so we had some stuff going on this morning. It's 8:30 Central Time. Looks like there's supposed to be a jobs report, but delayed due to the shutdown. So we're not going to have any economic data. Still expected to have high volume. And here we are. So we're about to have a trade here. The way I enter my trade is I enter when this looks like the MACD here, and I have changed some of the settings. I've actually made my own indicator. There's an indicator very close to this. It's called Moneyball, so I just made it better. Of course, you can look at it. It's the only one named Moneyball that's free. And it basically looks like a MACD, except they removed the histogram. All right, I normally don't trade right at 8:30, but this is looking like a pretty good potentially good setup. We've been in the down phase of this movement. I'll wait till this candle closes, then I'll enter. But back on this indicator here, you can use the money ball or you can use the MACD with these settings, 950 and 16. This is why you wait for the candle to close, because you don't know exactly. I want that to retrace a little bit. I was talking instead of, I'll enter there. And of course we have a trading view lagged. All right. So this, since it already went up 10 points just in the drawdown, that's why you need to use the micro golds and small contracts. And this is an area, this is the, on the initial balance, this is the low of the initial balance. And the shaded area boxes here, this is on the volume profile on the higher time frame. And what's recommended is you never enter while it's in a box. You wait until it exits the box, then you enter. These boxes I'll show you later once we get out of this trade. That these boxes are the high value nodes, and they're not good areas to enter trades. You wait until the price exits that. And it looks like we may end up having a reversal here. A reversal to what my entry was. I think I may. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and close this. Oh, look at that. Let me move my stop right here. Maybe we're getting some bullish pressure there. There does look like there could be a divergence right here. But we're going to wait and see what happens. I'm using, that's another thing with the micro gold, the micro contracts, is that, yeah, you're still losing a couple $100, but as compared to, it's easy to recover a $200 loss than it is to recover a $700 or $800 loss. Man, those are crazy wicks. Definitely doesn't like that area. All right, not a problem, because what we're going to do, is we're going to re-enter long. And so this is the point of control. Normally price will be real choppy around the point of control. So we're going to let that one roll out. I think it'll continue on. I think it'll blow through that area. And let's go up a little bit more to that other high value mode. And just let's see what happens. Now, if the price gets above this point of control, I may bring it to break even, but since it's so close to this VWAP standard deviation line, I may bring my stop just in this general area right here, just to reduce the risk, but not completely lose it, because I expect it to be either choppy, even though there is a chance that it'll blow right through this point of control. And of course, the point of control is on the indicator of the volume. I have this is the free indicator on TradingView, and this where you get the volume profile, and then I have VWAP and initial balance. Normally I'll have my indicator here just for the EMAs, and that will kind of help me guide my stop. I'll kind of follow, this is the yellow here is the 9 EMA, and I'll typically follow the 9 EMA to set a good stop. But like I said, with this, since we're hitting right here at the point of control, I expect it to either be choppy or it to just blow through this area, one of the two. And since it's kind of slowed down, it wouldn't surprise me if it is going to be choppy. Or maybe even a reversal. Maybe that's going to give it some type of level of resistance. But with the histogram, it still shows that we're strong bullish still. I'm going to go ahead and move my risk up just in case something kind of crazy happens. So we know in this market, things can happen in a fraction of a second. I have the EMAs there to kind of help me see the market the way, like if the price closed below this 9 EMA, the trend, the bullish momentum is not going to be as strong as what I expect it to be. And if the price doesn't go up on the next candle, well, then it's a good chance that we're having a reversal from that. But as long as I see price staying above the 9 and the 20 EMA, it looks like everything seems to be going okay, even though price touches the 9 EMA, but we're right here at the standard deviation band. So I'm hoping that this offers a little bit of support. I was kind of hoping that the price would blow through this point of control because it's so so much more volume at 8:30, and I was just kind of expecting it to just take off, which it's okay. We're not really in a bad position. Let me see. So maybe I need to reduce this target to right here. I think I'll do that. Okay. So that's actually about where I was initially with the initial 20-point stop loss or profit target. But hey, I was kind of being hopeful. It doesn't look like that order is completed. It's still kind of faded there. All right, let's look what we got going on here. We have another reversal here. Let's see, what do you think? Think I should probably take this stop down a little bit more? No, I'm gonna leave it there. If it stops me out, it stops me out. Because it'll be time to possibly go short. And here's the thing, sometimes if you've ever watched the MACD, you'll have the signal line and the MACD line, they'll get so close to touching and then it'll bounce off of one another, like right here. It came close to touching and then it bounced and continued. So if that were to stop me out, since my stop is pretty tight, I would just re-enter the trade because, like I said, I'm just using the micro contracts. So it's not like I have, even though I've got almost 10 points on my stock, that's not like losing my $1,000. I would only lose about 200. Come on, I'd really like to see some bullish momentum come in. If it's having this hard a time just getting over that standard deviation band, I wonder if it's going to be just as hard getting over this point of control. So if you don't know what a point of control is on the volume profile, that's where the buyers and the sellers all agree at a fair price. So you've got a bunch of buying and selling in that area. That's why it becomes so choppy. And then, of course, if there is, but of course, it can still, one side, whether they're buying or selling, can overtake that area as well. And the price will just blow right through it. So it can go either way. But it's generally best not to enter a trade at the point of control. But it's okay to be in a trade while you're going through it, just be wary of the choppiness because a lot of times people will move up their stop and they'll get out. They'll be out of a trade during that choppiness, which may be the best. But we're definitely taking a risk here, but the risk is small. Still looking pretty good, especially when that signal line goes into the green, crosses over the 0 line. That's why these candles changed from black to yellow, and then once it crosses this 0.8, it'll turn green. Of course, that's something that I have coded into this code that I've personalized. See, it's turning green now, so it's showing you that it's crossing this 0.8 line. So we're definitely getting a fair amount of momentum. And of course, as soon as I said that, price retracted, but that's okay. All right, so on the previous trade, I lost about $300. So it'd be nice if I could get about 400 out of this. And then I'll be in one more trade after this. Hopefully, it'll be a profitable trade. That's a good strong candle pop open there. Okay, so if you notice on the histogram, we're getting an area of decreased momentum. So I'm wondering what this candle will do. But the price is staying above the 9 EMA. And now that the 9 EMA has crossed over the standard deviation band, I'm wondering if it's going to help have like an area of support. All right, so now we made it over the point of control, which is a good sign. We had a candle close above the point of control. Oh, look at that. We're not going to move much. We're not going to close it, but I will. Let's see, should I? Let's just move it just a little over break even. Something strange could still happen. So I try my best not to close. I try my best to let the price hit my profit target without just closing the trade. The reason why I do that is because with TradingView, there is a lag. And when you close out a trade, typically if you're like, oh, good, my profit target's hit it, or, my profit target's at 400, but it's at 350. And as soon as you hit close, it'll take away another, price will retrace and take away $50 to $100 by the time TradingView actually closes it out. So I try my best to let it hit my target, even though I don't do it always, especially in the morning session whenever we have such increased volume. Price moves so quickly. All right, so like I said, we were at 314 to the loss a while earlier with that first trade. So we're getting close to break even. And looks like the momentum is slowing. Maybe we should just exit out now. Let me come up here to this 9 EMA. And we're here at the point of control. And if it hits me, it hits me. Yep. Okay, I'm okay with that. So that leaves us with $120 negative. And that's an easy recovery on the next trade. And I'm okay with that. All right, because, and that's another thing about trading micros is that you lose a lot of the emotional investment that you have. And it makes, I don't know, it feels good to get in a trade without sweating and becoming worried about things. All right, so let's go over, let me clear my screen here and I'll go over some of the indicators that I have. And like I said, these are just the blocks that you can draw yourself, the rectangles. It's, they're nothing special, no indicator on that. Let me see if I can hide that. There's supposed to be a way I can hide it. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Now, first we'll talk about the better money ball. And this money ball indicator is this one right here. It's VBrogo. It is a basic, all you're doing is, all you see is the MACD line and the signal line. My gosh, TradingView. Okay. All right, we'll go down here, see if it shows a photo of it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so as you see here, this is the basic money ball, and there's no histogram. But like I said, if you looks like we might have another trade coming in. Let's see where that point of control was. Didn't make it over the point of control. All right, let's see what we have. So it passed through the standard deviation, came down here to the next volume node. So we don't want to trade the volume node while it's inside. Let's see if that's a large volume node. Okay, so it's not that large of a volume node. Doesn't have a strong peak. So let's see. So when we look at, let's look at the 5-minute timeline, or the 5-minute chart. Man, those are some wicked wicks, that's for sure. Okay, so it looks like sometimes with MACD or with this indicator here that we're using, sometimes the signal line will cross bearish. However, price still moves up, creating a divergence. I don't know if that's what this is going to happen here, but I think it's best we wait and not enter this trade because we're still getting a lot of, I mean, that we're still seeing some price moving up while we have a bearish indicator. Okay, here we go. I would take this trade. I'm not going to take this trade if it stays here at the point of control, though. Remember that. Okay. That's a good strong sign. All right, we're going to skip this trade. I don't like the way it's moving. So, all right, back to the indicators. All right, so now let me take some of these off. All right, so again, we're going to talk about the money ball. So we have it 9, 50, and 16. Then we have the signal line as a SMA, the regular oscillator as the EMA. Then, of course, you can change your colors any way you want. I added the histogram because I like seeing that. But if you just have a MACD, you can change these settings in MACD and you keep the histogram. All right, so, oh, and another thing, this indicator is just for me to use. It's not publicly available. All right, so the next thing is let's talk about the volume profile because the volume profile is very hard for people to understand. It took me a long time to understand what that meant. When we go up to the 5-minute chart, we will see a little bit better view of this indicator. See, so on the 5-minute chart, this area right here, it's not really a high volume node. The high volume nodes are the ones that come up and peak and then come back down. Price doesn't like just like that. A lot of times this can be, these are good target zones, but these are not good entry zones. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that wick, man. How long is that candle? From 25, it's almost 25-point candle of indecision. So anyway, all right. So right now we only have these 3 areas. You could probably go to the 15-minute, maybe find some other areas. But then again, just keep in mind this session started at 7:20 in gold Central Time. So that's another reason why it's not very well defined yet. It's because it's still early. All right, point of control, high profile node. This area here where there's these valleys, those are low value areas. Price doesn't stay there very often. If it comes up, if price makes, sometimes I've heard people call this areas of support and resistance. Because like if you go right here, you notice that sometimes price will hit it and then retrace. That doesn't happen all the time. As you see with this candle here, it blows right through it. So anyway, go on to the VWAP session. Of course, a lot of people know what VWAP is. We're in the first deviation band, and here's the VWAP line. Never trade. Sometimes price will be bouncing around VWAP also. Don't ever enter a trade when it gets close to VWAP. You have increased volume, increased choppiness. All right, and of course, then I have the initial balance. I like the initial balance just to show the lines of the daily high in the midpoint. This is actually going to be the midpoint right here at the point of control. That was the daily mid. So again, you're going to have buyers and sellers agreeing on that price in that zone. So it's going to be real choppy. And then we have, like I said, the EMAs. But I only use the EMAs just as a guide for whenever I enter a trade. I normally just keep it blacked out until I actually enter a trade. All right, guys, so this video has gone longer than I expected it to, but you saw me enter a couple of trades, enter based on the your MACD crossing, and don't enter point of control or high value node. And then you can set your profit target towards the next high value node, or you can, and then set your stop, you know, where resistance is or support is. And, you know, that cuts it out. I mean, it's been, you know, even though I did lose one, I'm not really upset about it because I'm trading, you know, the micros, but at the same time, I was following my strategy, and my strategy is pretty good. I think when we go here to TradeZilla, I'll go ahead and open TradeZilla because I want you to see that this is a decent strategy that I'm using. As long as you can control your stops and your profit targets, your risk to rewards, you know. So let me resync it to make sure I have everything. Yeah. So 68.7 win rate. I've been red every day. I mean, I've been green every day with the exception of today so far because I did lose that $120. But as you see, it's been green every day. So it's a good strategy. And then, of course, my risk to reward on the average trade, it's decent. It's good. Profit factor 2.5. Anything over 1.0 shows I have a profitable trading strategy. So, all right, guys, I'll go ahead and end the video here. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll put some more content out like this. Maybe we'll do some live trades later on, maybe next week. All right, thanks a lot for watching. Adios.